So let's go ahead and just get started. Good morning to you. Welcome and Happy New Year to you all. I hope this new year finds you all healthy, happy, and raring to go. So thank you for joining us today. And as we take a look at some of these trends that we are expecting for 2022. My name is Jill Kennedy, and I'll be hosting you today. A little frog in my throat, I guess. I'm guessing many of you are fresh off of those visiting ASI and PPAI shows, and I bet your minds are full of fresh ideas to take to your customers. Well, we want to build on that energy and share with you those top trends that we're seeing in design, marketing, and the industry as a whole. As an almost 15-year veteran of Navitor, working with the sales and marketing teams, I've seen a lot of these trends come and go, but one thing you could count on is that Navitor and its commitment to providing you with the information and the tools you need to succeed in the marketplace. So with that in mind, this session is being recorded to be shared with you later. And although you've been muted, we definitely want to hear from you. As you were doing in the chat just a little bit ago, please use that chat and the Q&A functions on your Zoom toolbar to pose any questions and give us feedback as we go. Let us know what you're seeing for trends as you hear what we're talking about. If you agree with us, if you don't, if you're seeing those things in the marketplace as well, let us know. We'll also stay on for an extra 15 minutes after the presentation for a Q&A session, and we can discuss some of those trends as well. You'll also be receiving an email with a link to that full recorded presentation, and it'll be housed on navitor.com, so you can refer to it later if you'd like. So we have some very trendy folks joining us today to share their insights. First, we have Chelsea Zimprick. Chelsea has been a graphic design specialist with us for over 6 years now. Chelsea, you've been on both the supplier and the customer side, haven't you?
Thanks, Jill. Yeah, so I was a customer of Navitor's. So I've gotten to see Navitor grow with new products and technology, and it's been really exciting to be a part of it on both sides. But I look forward to sharing our predictions with you for what will be trending this year in design.
Awesome. Thanks, Chelsea. So next we have Stephen Bartz. Stephen is a senior account executive, and he brings over 15 years of industry experience. And now he's using that experience to help his customers' sales trend up. So welcome, Stephen.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jill. Very excited to talk with everyone today on some marketing trends. 15 years experience in different portions of the printing industry. But one thing I found through that since pretty much day one was Navitor always having great resources and great products for me to give to my customers. And now I have the ability to help talk through that all with you all today. Thanks, Jill.
Awesome. Perfect. Thanks, Stephen. Last but not least, we have another Jill Martins. And Jill is Senior Product Manager at Navitor. And she brings 10 plus years of print industry product management to the table. Thanks for being here, Jill. I'm guessing you've seen quite a few of these trends over the years as well.
Oh, definitely. Trends are very important to the product team, and I'm excited to share with you what we've learned over for this year. And over the last 10 years in print and product management, we have seen a lot of things come and go and come back again.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks, Jill. So, well, let's get right to it. But before we get to the fun stuff, let's discuss a trend that's on everyone's mind in 2022, and it showed when you answered your poll today: the supply chain disruption and its fallout. Related to supply and labor shortages, prices are going up, and it's a given. And as a whole, consumers really are accepting it. Being honest and transparent by communicating expected changes with your customers will go far and strengthen that working relationship you have with them. So Navitor will do our part by keeping abreast of the situation and providing you with updates. We've created this supply chain document to keep you current on the 7 core markets that impact the print industry. And it will share ways to help you mitigate those effects with your customers. We're continually updating this document. So we'll be sure to include the link for you in our follow-up so that you can refer to it again and again as these issues come up, and you can share them with your customers. So let's move away from that dreary talk and on to the bold and the beautiful and talk about design trends for 2022. Chelsea, tell us what we can look forward to.
Thanks, Jill. Yeah, so starting out, we're starting with Art Deco. So beautifully intricate serif fonts, fine geometric line work, and show-stopping foil are all elements that make up a stunning print piece. I personally love the design style of Art Deco. As a designer, I appreciate a good reason to use unique and fun finishes, and Art Deco does just that. It gives an instant sense of luxury and quality by using foil, embossing, or enhanced finishes. If you pair those finishes with a soft touch lamination or high-end linen stock, that will really amp up the luxury even more, making it a beautiful print piece that any customer will want to take with them. So this trend will be very popular in interior design in the restaurant and hospitality industries. In the past, there's been a very stark industrial feel, but now we'll see it move to a more upscale, luxurious design with deep jewel tones like catching foils and modern elements. And then all of these things will all be reflected into their print pieces. So including your business cards, announcements, presentation folders, and labels, just to name a few. So rebrands are going to be really big this year, especially in these two industries. I know, Stephen, you've been working with some customer rebrands recently. Do you want to talk more about those?
Sure, I've got one in mind. We've been doing work for a while with them now, and it's basically just a single color uncoated stock. They're going through a rebrand, and really we're looking for something that spoke more to the brand, both the individual and then the company themselves. So after about 2 months of going through different options with different stocks, we settled on a coated stock that had the soft touch laminate that you mentioned and had some of those embellishments, specifically spot gloss on both sides, that our customer and the marketing agency felt really did a nice job of enhancing both the brand of the company, but then also the individual that was part of it. So really, really good experience, and it spoke exactly to what you were talking through here for trends.
That sounds really stunning. I love to see a rebrand go from something super simple and to the point to something that uses all of our fun finishes and stocks that we offer. That's really cool. So, but speaking of fun, we can move on to our next trend, which is color. So in 2022, we're predicting a lot of color. So brighter the better when it comes to 22. And I know somebody in the poll or in the chat said that color too. So I'm glad to see that's out there already. But if you haven't been to the mall recently, one thing that I've noticed in a lot of the window displays is like the bright punchy colors. So for example, the beauty store Ulta always has beautiful imagery, and then they pair it with pops of orange and pink, and they're just simply eye-catching when you walk by. So this trend is going to be very popular across many verticals, but specifically in the retail environments. You'll see a lot of in-store displays and signage, and that's going to be using those eye candy color schemes, as well as in product displays and in packaging too. So if you're getting requests for something bright and colorful, take a look to our Astro Bright stocks. They give an instant pop of color, and then if you pair it with a bold black imprint, it offers some really striking contrast, like the photos in the slide there. This is especially great for business cards or postcards, so they don't get lost in the shuffle, and they really stand out from other competitors too. And then next, we have paper cutouts. Paper cutouts has been trending in the background for the last couple of years, and this year they'll really show up in a big way. So from social media to printed materials, the look of paper cutouts provide beautiful depth to any marketing piece. You'll see it used in booklets, announcements, posters, pretty much anywhere that large imagery would live. It prints beautifully and gives a three-dimensional feel to any flat printed material. And if you've received our 2022 catalog, you'll notice that this trend is represented throughout. We highlighted it on both the front and back covers to give the illusion that you're peering through each section of the catalog. So this is a really nice nod to the paper and print industry, and then it speaks well to Navitor and our brand.
Yeah, Chelsea, these are beautiful. And we've gotten a lot of customers that have commented on how much they love this catalog and that they've received the physical copies and so on. Can you just tell us a little bit more about it, what's in it, and maybe how our distributors can get their own?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we were really busy last year creating at least, I think there was like a dozen catalogs for 2022. So and they all have new imagery, more color, and they're showcasing our products in fun and exciting ways. It showcases, the catalogs showcase our full line of products, and then they give suggested retail pricing. So it's safe for our distributors to use with their end customers. And if you'd like to go get one for yourself, you can go out to navitor.com and you can request a physical copy or get a digital version. And then there's also a version available on Zoom Catalog that our distributors can brand for themselves. So
awesome.
A lot of different options there. Yeah. It's really nice.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. And I know, a lot of people love those Zoom catalogs because they can put their logos on there too.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So from these catalogs to 2022, we're going to take it back to the 90s for our last design trend. So speaking to every millennial out there, this will certainly give you instant nostalgia. I'm sure you've all noticed that when you've been out shopping that the 90s are back and in full force, from Dunkaroos to Doc Martens. I even saw a a advertisement for a flip phone. And I was like, oh my, like, what? I didn't know that would come back. But it's not just the products that are back. You'll notice a lot of design that resembles the 90s, from bright color blocks, funky patterns, simple shapes, and that retro feel. Retro, I put air quotes around it. I don't feel like it's retro.
No kidding.
Feeling of early technology. So if you're getting any requests about how to add that 90s flair to a customer's print piece, our enhanced finishes are a really great place to start. They can draw attention to details and make that illustrated shine actually shine with some spot gloss, or add a taste of the rainbow with our holographic raised foil. We predict that flyers and booklets will also be making a comeback in a similar fashion to zines that were in the 90s. We're all ready to get back to going out and experiencing the world, and that includes printed materials. So handouts give a physical reminder for grand openings, events, showings, and all sorts of things. But now I'm going to transition it over to a fellow millennial, Stephen. Are there any 90s products that you'd like to see make a comeback? I'm hoping for those the Fruitopia drinks. I don't know if anybody remembers those. That was my go-to back when I was younger.
I did like those too, but I would have to go with Pogs. Those were just, they were so neat. The different collections you could get is so easy to just take, store them. And if you actually played with the Pogs versus just that, it was always neat on that.
Yeah. As a parent, though, I could tell you they were a mess. It's like Pogs everywhere all the time. My kids played with Pogs, so I know it.
Oh, too funny. So turning to marketing trends, I just wanted to pose two questions as food for thought for yourself. But how do you know if your current marketing or outreach efforts are working? And secondly, what is the purpose or goal you have with your current marketing approach? The reason for those two specific questions, as you see in the presentation, is knowing that your audience and the content and delivery to better meet their needs and ensure your product or service will resolve the challenges your customers are facing. So simply put, different audiences will have different triggers. Some of the ways that you can better utilize or understand what your audience is experiencing would be review of current data and analytics. Staying current is key, and you really don't want to get caught acting on last season's trends. And second, don't be afraid to experiment. Simply trying new approaches, tests or surveys can help gauge what your customers and your prospects are responding to. One example would be a blog versus a newsletter versus a podcast. Each one of those represents a different type of media that they can use to consume content, and one certainly may resound better with certain individuals. Us at Navitor as well, we've designed some tools to help capture the attention of your target audience and also better understand habits. One thing to check out for sure is our outreach guide. It's got tips and tricks along with some of our own marketing research to help you be successful. We'll include a link with that in the follow-up to the webinar here. And then one huge trend with a variety of audiences these days is combining a media mix. One term that has become popular is phygital, and that's simply the combination of physical and digital elements. So consider a real estate agent who prints those traditional takeaway flyers, throws a QR code to direct users to a staged walkthrough or interactive rendering, allowing them to better explore and envision themselves in the space that they're touring. Or you're buying carpet online. Of course, you've got tons and tons of options. You narrow it down, and then you're like, all right, I've got these 5, but I really need to feel what it looks like and kind of envision it in my home. And of course, right there, you're going to have an order swatches here button. That allows you to combine those and gives you 2 examples of that phygital marketing. So I'll pause real quick and we'll take a look at the poll here and see what everybody sees around QR codes. And so only a couple customers are requesting them. And then yes, picked up last year with no signs of stopping. I would echo that.
Kind of two different ends of the spectrum then on QR codes.
Yep, I've been seeing them everywhere, very regularly, especially in things larger, not so much a business card size, but when you go to a postcard or a flyer or bigger than that. It's really been used well. If you travel around, you'll see yard signs that have that or more engaging displays as well.
One place too, Stephen, I've seen them a lot, and I know everybody else has too, QR codes for menus. I mean, that has been a crazy trend the past year. I've seen it more on signage, more on like windows, like window decals and that type of thing. Really, it's been crazy how they've grown this past year.
You're right. I saw that at actually Applebee's a couple of weeks ago, that they didn't actually have a physical menu. I was like, oh, wow, it was actually pretty intriguing to go on my phone and sort of select everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, at the end of the day, our real goal is ongoing engagement of our customers, and interacting in real time is critical. This can be as simple as keeping tabs through a poll, soliciting feedback, or finding new channels and methods to showcase your organization's products and services. Perhaps an unboxing video of your product, a guided walkthrough of something you're selling that needs assembly. Take time to ask your customers those critical questions. One, for example, would you like to see us use more eco-friendly packaging in something we're shipping out? And then, of course, speaking of eco-friendly packaging, let me switch gears to another hot topic right now: social responsibility. Customers are identifying with brands and organizations that resonate with the trend of social responsibility. Companies are frequently taking actions, such as retailers offering to let you donate at checkout to an organization they support. One that gets me every time is Petco. I'm an avid animal lover, and the work that they do with local rescues is really critical. And I donate every time I shop, and that's my go-to pet store as a result of that. Customers are proactively looking in advance for companies that put this information out into the marketplace. So I would encourage everyone to think through, how are you finding out what resonates with your customer base around social responsibility? Certainly want to understand that as you're either going to market or making some of these choices to put things out there to display. And then we've just included a few products that you can use to showcase around social responsibility that we have listed. So for example, brochures, booklets, labels, and signage are great ways to showcase not only what you do and how you do it, but you can take it a step further by using a sustainably sourced stock, for example. And then let me turn it over to Jill, that she'll talk a little bit more about that.
Thanks, Stephen. Let's talk sustainability. Sustainability is becoming a key trend for businesses that is being driven by the consumer. In fact, a recent survey done by weform.org, 66% of the consumers stated that they are considering sustainability as a factor when making a purchase decision. That percentage does go up the younger the audience. Key things people want: affordable options, natural look and feel, reduced carbon footprint, and a positive impact on the planet. You may first think of recycled stock when it comes to sustainability, and you would be right. It is the most sought after, but there has been a reduction of post-consumer recycled waste due to the pandemic. This is leading into shortages and long delivery times, but don't worry, there are other options that you can propose to reduce the carbon footprint for your customer. You'd want to suggest stocks that are non-coated and printed without any extra finishes and laminations, as they can be recycled or easily broken down after the intended use. One of the most common printed products people have that they want to scream sustainability is actually a business appointment card. It is important for the image of the business, no matter if they're big or small, to show their dedication to the planet. Next, we talk with the boom of the entrepreneurial spirit. The market for printing is predicted to expand and grow by 13% in general, and surpass by 15% with digital print products, according to the LNW survey completed in 2021. Considering 3 in 5 intend on spending more money at small businesses, it is no surprise that steadily growing competition is cropping up among new businesses, which is increasing the demand for marketing essentials like business cards, postcards, mailing envelopes, labels, signage, and more. For the entrepreneurs today, electronic ordering is becoming an expectation. As they add employees and locations, keeping their admin time down and their brand consistency up, they will be choosing a print provider that has those driving forces. Company eStore gives them the flexibility of 24/7 ordering with the Navitor's G7 certification. Their all-important brand will be safe. Make it super simple for small business customers to buy from you. Navitor's tech platforms can be set up in multiple ways, whether a corporate store for just one customer or a platform that seamlessly integrates within your existing site to expand your offering to the plethora of products that Navitor has to offer.
Yeah, Jill, I just want to throw in there too, if anybody's interested in our company stores or any of the technology that we have to offer, let us know in the chat, send something our way. We'll be happy to have somebody reach out to you and talk to you about it. We have some great options for you. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Go ahead.
Good call out. As we pray that this pandemic is coming to an end and life gets back to the new normal, The industries where people will be out and about will be more of an area of growth. I recently attended the Outback Bowl with my daughter as she performed at halftime. It was great to see all the print products coming back to life in this event. From presentation folders, event tickets, brochures, signage, and personalized promotional products, the print industry helped make that experience amazing. The last year we have seen different industries shine with print, such as restaurants and the use of menus to be disposed of or sanitized. Events and entertainment industries are picking up again and needing posters and flyers and signage for spring and summer events coming up. It doesn't stop there. And other industries such as travel, landscaping, and hospitality are ramping up again, needing brochures, presentation folders, promotional products, and so much more. Thank you for your time today. And Jill, I now hand it back to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jill. And thanks for pointing out those top targets for the coming year. I posted a poll just a second ago. I just kind of want to see where everybody's at, what you're seeing as far as the verticals that you're encountering and that you're selling into. And boy, I'm watching the results go as you're entering, and it's fluctuating back and forth. It's really interesting, but I'll end that here. If you guys want to finish up your finals, it's still moving. So that's why I hate to end it. See where you're at with these verticals. So let's take a look here. And you are still seeing healthcare as one of those main verticals. And that's no surprise. Obviously, with the way things have been going, things have kind of slid back a little bit with the pandemic. So we are seeing that really healthcare still has these great needs. Restaurants up there, you are seeing some with travel and hospitality. That's been an interesting one that we've really seen some growth with and some interest in for 2022. I think people are anxious to kind of get out and about and move around and back to traveling and so on. So and to build on that, our next webinar, so the webinar that we'll be having in February, is going to do a deeper dive into that travel and recreation industry. So we'll be sharing some updates, industry updates, some things that we found in our research, tips and tricks of selling into that particular vertical. And it'll be, what you should know, what you should ask, who you should ask, those types of things. So really a deep dive into that vertical. And then we'll have some really exciting new materials that we're going to be sharing with you as well with that webinar. So we've expanded on some of our verticals this year. We have enhanced a lot of these. I know, Chelsea, you've been working on a lot of this too. So we'll be seeing a lot of updates from us, from Navitor, for a lot of your marketing materials. So we're excited to be sharing those with you as we go. You can always find these items as we finish them and as we finish these verticals and these new flyers and these new materials and all of these things to help you get out into the marketplace and really hit 2022 with a bang. So you can go to navitor.com. We have a content calendar out there. We have a lot of our sales materials out in navitor.com. So just a pitch there for you to go out there and find those things to really help you in the marketplace and to help you with your sales. So with that, that closes out our presentation today. We've covered some of those basic trends, those top things that we think are going to be big for 2022, but we really do want to hear from you. So we're going to stay on for another 15 minutes or so to answer any questions you may have and to discuss kind of what you're seeing for these trends. But for those of you that do need to go, we want to thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see you next month when we talk about the travel, leisure, recreation industry. And if you haven't already, go to navitor.com, make sure you sign up to receive our emails so that we can keep you updated on the latest happenings that we have going on here, like those webinars or these exciting new materials that I was teasing about earlier. And please fill out that survey on your way out. Let us know what you think of our presentations, how we can improve. Let us know the topics you'd like to see covered. We always want to hear from you. We're here to do this for you and to help you with your businesses and to help you grow. So that's why we're doing it. So let us know what you think and what we can improve on and what we can add. With that, let's see if we have any questions. Stephanie, I don't know. I was wondering about the chat. If you want to pop in and let us know if we're seeing anything there.
Sure. So we do have several questions out here. I was just kind of holding them for the end here. So one thing that people were asking was around the social responsibility and sustainability. So what exactly are customers doing? So it seems like some people might be seeing a lot of this and some people might not be. So they're kind of interested in how do they jump in here?
So what are they seeing so the question was like, what are they seeing as
What
far
are
as how
customers like printing? What are they doing? Show what
sure.
customers
And
are doing these actions, but what are they showing that they're doing?
Yeah, and I think with print, when you think about it, a lot of these trends are happening and they're moving and they're changing, and a lot of their materials may be outdated. And they may not be showing diversity, and they may not be showing their commitment to sustainability and to the environment and to that type of thing. So with this trend, you're going to see many companies want to, they need to update their brochures. They need to update their flyers, their signage, their ADA type signage in their physical locations. All of these things to kind of catch up with that important social responsibility, to make sure these businesses, to make sure that they're, putting their best face forward as far as that goes. I don't know, Stephen, do you have anything to add with that? You've worked with customers every day, so.
The biggest trend we've seen recently is honestly driven by customer feedback. Is we need something that's a recycled option, or we need something that's FSC, chain of custody certified from sustainable forestry. Is mostly customers driving the conversation for that. What we've done proactively in some situations is where if we will get samples for something and it's a stock that has no post-consumer content to it, we'll offer that sort of as an option as well, and just say, hey, here, based on this. A lot of it's driven too by internal dialogue at a company. So you'll have, to your point, that rebrand, and they go through everything, and then, oh wait, part of marketing or that kind of new responsibility around sustainability, they have someone at the company that's sort of auditing that and asking those questions of us. What's your process around this? What type of stock are we using? What's the impact on the environment? It's really driven customer facing on that, but you could also be proactive in some of those pieces and offering that up, or at least having that basic conversation with your customer. Do you have anything in practice for this today?
Yeah, I think that's a good point about being proactive about it. I know of an experience that we've had recently that we had a customer that went through a kind of a rebranding and ordering, and they did all the quoting and so on, and gets back to the customer, and then the customer's like, oh, wait a minute, maybe we're interested in recycled stock. So it makes sense to kind of broach these things with your customers before the fact. Have you thought about sustainability? Or even if it's not the stock in particular, maybe it's their materials, their the information that they have on their materials. Have you is your HR department involved in this? Are you just to kind of be proactive about that, letting people know that this is the way things are going, so that they have the information they need to make the right decisions for the products that they're purchasing from you. So I think being proactive and letting them know that you're aware of all of this is very important.
And Jill, one thing to add on to that, if you're taking a look at the catalogs that are on Navitor.com, we call out what stocks are recycled. And that has been a huge selling point. Customers will ask all the time, what do you have for this? And we can just direct them directly to that page, and it shows right on there. And then you pair that with a swatch book, and you're ahead of that conversation. So we have a lot of tools available as well that can help with that proactivity and that conversation.
Right. And we can offer samples and so on as well. So keep that in mind as you're working with your customers. Anything else, Stephanie?
Yep, we got lots of them.
Okay, good. Let's go.
So
just cut me off.
The catalog here.
And move on.
So I'll stick on the catalog a little bit, but our prices wholesale or retail, and then follow up, can you order more catalogs on that link? Chelsea, you want to kick that one off, and then maybe Jill can round it out.
Sure, yeah, yep. So all of our pricing in our catalogs are retail pricing, so you can show that to your end customer. And yes, you can order multiple catalogs out on nav.com, Navitor.com, sorry, internal quick slang there, Navitor.com.
Like it's our bud, nav.com.
Yeah, nav.com. And then there's also digital versions out there as well. So those can be Navitor branded, and then the Zoom catalog you can rebrand for your company as well. So quite a few options.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything, Jill?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's exactly it. And what's really great about those digital catalogs too, is that once you have them, I mean, you can download a single page. So if you want to download a single page out of it and email it to a customer, maybe it's just one particular product that they're interested in or something you want to show them. It's an easy way to do that. And that Zoom catalog is great because you can add your logo to it, and then it's saved in your own little Zoom account, so you can access it, send it out as you want. You get a link and everything. So we work with Zoom catalog like a lot of suppliers do. So a lot of you, I'm sure, are familiar with it. But yeah.
And I'll put the link in the chat again. So that link is for all the catalogs, but then also you can order more. So that was one of the questions. Yes, you can order more for your team. They're free for members. So go ahead and do that. And then like Jill said, the Zoom catalog's on there. You can get it from there. There's a variety of things that you can do from that page alone.
Yeah, I mean, I think we find that, people like to have that physical catalog, but really you're going to use an electronic version, probably a whole lot more. Just with Stephen, you agree with that?
Yeah. Yes, all the time. I've got one physical, and then I send out that link to that catalog very frequently digitally.
Yeah. I just think it's just more convenience. And like I said, you can really narrow it down to even a specific page. So that makes it nice.
Okay, then there's a really specific question, and I think Chelsea, you'd be the one to answer this, but I'm not sure. So there's a question on QR codes. Are there any limitations like with colors you can use or backgrounds where it's not going to work? Can you give any advice?
Yeah, actually, I would say that so in our design programs, you can change the color basically to anything, but rule of thumb, you just want to make sure it's high contrast. So what I personally do to make sure that I know my phone can scan it is that I always do a white background behind that, either black or whatever, really any color that's really nice and just high contrast. You could do dark blue, anything like that. But as long as it's high contrast on a white background, that's going to give you the best odds of your camera on your phone picking it up. I always test every single one on my phone just to make sure. But as long as it's super high contrast, you should be okay.
I will comment in there too from a product side. Stock is important on what you choose. You're going to want a smooth stock. You're not going to want like a linen or something that has some texture in it because it can actually change the QR code as it's being printed onto the paper.
Makes total sense.
Okay, then I have a question for Jill. Are your full color safe for laser printers? Jill Martin, sorry.
Yes, I know. It's like, what?
That was mean.
Too many Jills.
Can you repeat the question, Stephanie?
Sure. So are your full color letterhead safe for laser printers?
Yes. Where you might get into some problems and stuff like that would be if there's thermography, but yes, our full color stocks are all safe for laser printers.
Okay, perfect. And then someone else is looking to order a swatch book, so we put that link in the chat there. Okay, and then another question that we have is, what success are people having with like the gig economy, side hustles? There's all these people doing or Uber or Fiverr or Etsy, and like, what do you guys see out there? So maybe I'll start with Stephen, and then we can go around.
So the question relating into what type of printed content we'd be doing for them?
Yeah, what are you seeing for clever ideas with the gig economy?
A lot of those you'll see labels, for example. You'll put things in cars. You'll have some takeaways. I was just in a Lyft the other day, and they had this neat little sign that talked about how they cleaned the car every so frequently. And it wasn't something that was provided by Lyft themselves. It was something that was on like a PVC type material. And it was quite interesting for that. And then another thing that's becoming more common are small run promotional products that you'll see, where even you'll go to like a farm stand or something, and they'll have t-shirts, they'll have water bottles and things with their brand. It's becoming easier to do kind of that full color imprint on a small number of items. And that's becoming more of a trend that we're seeing, that everybody wants their branding on their own product rather than sort of that shared marketing that was kind of a big deal for a while, or like those long runs that everybody used to do.
Yeah, so being able to, oh, go ahead, Jill.
I was gonna say, to add in there, I know our hang tags are becoming very popular for clothing, earrings, and different products like that for on Etsy, along with door hangers. We're starting to see a lot more door hangers being used for random different things within those groups. But you hit the nail on the head with promo products. Hand sanitizer is another one that people are branding smaller runs of hand sanitizer and giving that out because of the pandemic, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think that all makes sense when you think of those smaller businesses, like, you know, and then to show, you know, we can go back to sustainability on that, because a lot of these small brands, I think, you know, you think of like a small manufacturer of soaps, or you think of small, you know, those types of small type businesses, and how that, you know, their brand is probably really tied to maybe the sustainability, that type of thing. So showcasing that on a tag, showcasing that on their business card or a punch card or something like that becomes, you know, important as well. So you can see it all over.
And Chelsea, I wonder if you might have a thought on this too, because like every time I order from Etsy, I mean, it often comes with a variety of like what we would call business identity, but it's for a very small shop. So what are some of the things you might have seen that are design oriented, I would think?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm on TikTok every night just because, you know, like the rest of the world. But I tend to get a lot of packaging videos for different companies. And every single time I'm like, we sell that. And it's stamps, it's business cards, it's just labeled, everything that you guys have mentioned. And it's all these tiny little companies. I mean, these are even just kids, like teenagers. And what they're doing is they're taking a stamp and they have made a logo, and then they use that stamp on the outside of their package, on the inside of their package. They use it to decorate the box. It's really interesting to see how innovative that these smaller companies have become with our products. Like, it is what we sell. And it's just so exciting to see. And it's fun. It invigorates me as a designer to think about how I can make a different piece of art for this product. But absolutely. And business cards too, you know, thinking about them as a coupon or as a punch card, even that as a hang tag in ways, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can use our products differently.
For sure.
Yeah, well described. That's really cool. All right. So it's a really good prospecting tool too, is kind of reaching those startups and those big workers.
Yeah, you were talking about TikTok and those videos, and I know when I was doing research on trends and talking about the marketing trends, just those short videos. I mean, we talk TikTok, but how impactful those short videos are. And you think, oh, that's not for me, I can't do that. You know, if you have a Facebook account and you can do just a quick little video about the products you offer, you know, I mean, you can do like a quick little unpackaging of, oh, look, I got this pack of business cards today for a customer, and oh, look how beautiful this is. I mean, that type of stuff really gets attention, and it, you know, puts you out there as well, and your business out there as well. So those types of things are, you know, don't discount it. It's amazing how something can just take off sometimes. And people love to see those, like that unpackaging, or, you know, what's new, or this is how it's made, or that type of video. And yeah, I think it's going to be around for a while. Pretty soon TikTok will be like for old people like Facebook is now. You know.
Yes, yeah. We're seeing some chat jokes here, you know, some folks have never used it and
never visited TikTok.
Totally into it. Yeah, I think it's really great to see kind of a variety. I cook
cooking business,
interest in my cooking business. Yeah,
that's cool. Must be a little gig job there. We talk about these little side gigs. Everybody's got side hustles and that type of thing. So side gig. Well, if you need any,
it's a good source for ideas. It's a really good source for ideas.
It is.
With all the unpacking or you know, what do you call it? Unboxing.
Unboxing, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you get so many ideas, and all of that prospecting tool, you know, of how you can sell in your community. So
absolutely.
Very cool. Okay. And then I believe this is the last one I have. So how do you share customers, like the trends guide? Like, how do you broach customers with something like this? Do you talk about all the trends? Do you send them all of it? Do you maybe pick one or two? How do you choose? Stephen, maybe you could start off any recommendations there.
I've found that going after the whole catalog at once with a specific customer can sometimes be a little daunting. Trying to do either, whether it's a prospect or an existing customer, trying to narrow that focus either based on what they've purchased historically or what you're trying to get them to sort of go after in 2022. Some customers are relying on you to give them that trend of, oh, sustainability is now a big thing. Maybe you need to move to a recycled stock. You can put that on there and let people know that. So that's usually the approach that I've seen works best. To Jill's point, how you can take a page out of that catalog. The most impactful way that I've seen that used is you take, let's say somebody's going after name badges. You print those name badge pages and you send that off. So very much the same thing with the trend guide. Take something out of that, use that as kind of your catalyst to start that conversation. And then if someone's interested, then of course you can, always go back for more.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
anybody else have any recommendations?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I think knowing your customer, like you were talking about knowing your audience, I think it really goes a long way if you do a little bit of research about your customer, instead of just kind of, here's materials, to kind of have an idea of where they're at, where their business is at, and maybe get an idea of what they might be interested in. Maybe it looks like they're leaning towards sustainability. We were talking earlier too about that juxtaposition, about the luxury, right? Or the sustainability. Do you go full coated? Cool. And that's part of knowing that customer, I think, where they're rebranding. They want to show this luxury type product. Maybe they want to go this way. They want those enhanced finishes. They want that Art Deco. They want those cool lines. Or maybe they're going more towards this, the sustainability. They really want to showcase how they're socially responsible. So I think knowing your customer before you go in is really important.
Good. Thank you, Jill.
Sure.
All right.
Are we
That's
good?
all the questions I have then, Jill Kennedy. I'll pass it back to you.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. It was fun. It was fun to chat. If as a parting thing, if you want to throw in there in the chat your favorite, we were talking about 90s trends earlier, throw in there your favorite trend from the 90s, whether it was Tamagotchis or Lisa Frank. We were talking, my daughter is big into, she was excited to find Lisa Frank, unicorn cookies the other day. So pop in there what you've seen. Jelly shoes. I love jelly shoes. Those are from the 80s though too. So awesome. Just let us know. It's been great having you. It's been great hosting you today. And thanks to the panelists and to Stephanie for helping us out with chats today. You'll be receiving an email from us shortly, probably later today. We'll have a link to this presentation as well as the materials that we mentioned. So we'll give you the link to the catalog. We'll give you the link to that outreach kit that we have and the other items that we mentioned. So the supply chain document as well. So we'll be sure you have everything we talked about today. So be sure to sign up for our next webinar, which will be in February. And that'll be on travel and leisure, and it will be exciting. We've got some great new materials to show you for that. So be sure to join us. So thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate it. Have a great day.